Hello everyone and welcome back to Jenna Voice. We're officially into a brand new year. It's 2018. Thank God. I'm sure I'm not the only one who is so happy to be done with 2017 for a plethora of reasons, but because it is a new year, it's definitely that time when everybody's thinking of new goals for the new year, things that they want to do to improve themselves and their life. And so I thought it would be fun to do a little video about goals for singers. What sort of goals can we set for ourselves coming into the new year? And I will say, I'm really not the type of person who usually makes New Year's goals. I think they can often be unrealistic and hard to keep up with or to complete. But the main reason for that being is because often people will set unrealistic goals for themselves. I think it's awesome to have big ideas and to dream big and to just make really big strides in their life. And that is not an unrealistic thing to do, but in order to get to that place, I think we need to first establish smaller goals so that we can realistically see progress in ourselves month to month, year to year. And so I thought I would try this year to come up with a few goals just related to myself as a singer that might inspire you to come up with some goals of your own. Before I say my 3 goals that I've come up with this year, I would just inspire you all to think of small things for yourself, whether that be related to language. Is there one language you're struggling with? Is there aspects of language that are hard for you? You know, do you need to improve your French nasal vowels or your Italian double consonants? There's so many little nitpicky things that you could focus on in relation to languages. In addition, performance-wise, what are some things in your own performance that you know you could do better or want to eliminate coming into the next year? For example, do you have any little performance tics when you get up to sing? Like, are you doing weird things with your hands, or do you tap your foot or conduct yourself or strain muscles in your face that shouldn't be strained? Things like that will help you get better but are a really specific small physical item for you to focus on. So yeah, that's where I would suggest starting if you're having a hard time coming up with some ideas. What are some things related to language, related to performance, related to your study of music even? Do you want to improve the way that you learn a song or learn a role, or the amount of songs or arias that you learn in a semester or a year perhaps? I think those are all great places to start. Remember to think really specific and think really small, and then you can always build upon that. Once you complete a goal, it's going to encourage you to create new goals for yourself. And the more small goals that you accomplish, you're gonna feel like you accomplished a lot more because you made smaller goals instead of really massive goals, saying things like, I want to get into a paid young artist program straight out of college. Might be unrealistic for a lot of us. Most singers aren't able to do that right off the bat. Most of us, it takes years and years of vocal development and work and accreditation and meeting and networking with people to get to a place where they're being paid to perform. So if you're setting really big goals for yourself that just frankly aren't as realistic, you may be setting yourself up for a more likelihood or a greater likelihood of failure, and that puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on yourself. Being a singer, being a student who's learning to sing is enough pressure as it is. I never would suggest to put more pressure on yourself than you already have to deal with in your day-to-day life. So really aim small, miss small. And then when you come up with your list, it doesn't need to be a huge list. Put it somewhere where you're gonna see it every day. that's gonna remind yourself, this is something I really wanna do this year or this month or this semester, whatever your timeline is. If it's somewhere where you're gonna see it on a daily basis, the more initiative you're gonna have. So those are my tips for making your own singer goals for this year. But the few goals that I came up with for myself, I thought I would share with you if you're interested or looking for some specific ideas. My number one goal, I've talked about this a few times in previous videos, but I really want to improve my French. And so in order to do that, an idea I had would be to do an independent French study. And I don't know exactly what that will look like, but at the moment my idea is to do a role study, a French role study. So choose a French role that I really want to learn, and I have a likelihood of performing in the future because it fits my FOC. And then in conjunction with that, as I'm learning that, to do coachings and also do some just French language study. So I got a really awesome Christmas present, which was the French Rosetta Stone, levels 1 through 4, which is a lot. So that will keep me plenty busy in terms of getting more familiarized with that language. So yeah, that's something I really want to do. I'm not quite sure when that will be. Realistically, probably after audition season is officially done. It mostly is, but I think I just want to have that part of the year out of the way for sure before I start a new project. Of course, I have the opera I'm going to be in this spring in March coming up, so we'll just have to see where things kind of line up and what I can handle realistically at whatever period of the year I'm in. But yeah, that's something I really want to do, and I think I can do it over the span of a year, even if I have to kind of spread it out between different projects that I have going on. But yeah, once I get that started, I will let you all know. So my second goal is to create some sort of performance opportunity for myself. And again, I should be more specific, but I need to do more thinking upon what that would be, whether it's a recital of some sort, or a recital of just me singing, or a collaborative recital, or maybe just caroling next Christmas. I think would be a lot of fun. It's hard now being out of school, having lots of performances coming up. I'm not as busy as I was the past couple years during my master's degree, so I think it's a good idea to fill the gaps a bit with making myself perform more, making sure I'm still working on repertoire consistently, and making sure I'm constantly improving and working on my technique. And if I don't have an upcoming performance, it's harder for me to consistently be practicing and making small goals for myself. So I think if I create an opportunity where I need to perform for something and put together repertoire and get ready, essentially, that those pieces will fall into place. And so once I think of what that opportunity is going to be, I'll let you know again, but I need more time to decide what that's gonna be, what it's going to look like, and what its purpose is. So my third goal that I am actually really excited for is to read at least 10 books for singers, and this could be anything from opera history books, books on performance technique, books on language, books on pedagogy, famous opera singers, bios, all that sort of stuff. I have so many books that I've kind of collected over the past 6 years while I was in school that I didn't really have the time to read, but I was extremely interested in, or I had to buy for other classes, and we only read bits and pieces of it. But I have so many books that I can't wait to get into and learn more about, as I said, technique, performing, history. That's really gonna, I think, inspire me to work more on my technique and performing and all these things. It's kind of just a domino effect. I think reading really inspires people to better themselves, or just to think outside the box a little bit, to see something from a different perspective. So I'm really excited to have the time to read more, especially, like I said, I'm done with school. I don't have to read for classes, so I have the pleasure and opportunity to read a lot more for fun. So I can't wait to read more books, and if they're related to singing, I will of course do reviews for you guys. I just finished a book that I plan to do a review for very soon. So I actually just finished a book about kind of the business of singing and promoting yourself and marketing yourself. So I'm planning to do a review on that very soon, but that was a book I just finished, so it won't count towards my 10 for this year, but still it's very exciting. Once I get into those kinds of books, they just, I don't know how to describe it. They just get your mind pumped and excited, and it gets motivation flowing that wasn't there before reading the book, if that makes sense. At least that's my perspective from this sort of literature. So those are my 3 goals for 2018. I know a few of them were kind of vague. Like I said before, it's better if you can be really specific with your goals, but think of a few. I think gets you excited and motivated to challenge yourself, even if it's outside of your normal classwork, if you're in school, or just whatever projects you have going on. I think it's always important to self-motivate and create things to better yourself without outside influences having to motivate that, if that makes sense. So anyway, these are my 2018 singers goals. If you are making goals for this year, I would love to hear about them. So leave a comment down below if you're making goals, whatever your goals are. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, make sure you're subscribed to keep up with more videos like this one. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.